There was once a student who dreamed of speaking English fluently, but every time he tried, the words slipped away like sand through his fingers. People laughed when he made mistakes, and this made him afraid to open his mouth again. Yet deep inside, he knew that fear would never bring him closer to his dream. So one day, he decided to start small. Instead of worrying about grammar rules or big words, he picked up a simple storybook. He read one page, then read it again, and with every line his eyes caught new words, new meanings. At first, he could not understand everything, but like a traveler learning the path, he began to recognize familiar signs. He also started listening, not just listening with his ears, but with his heart. When he heard songs, speeches, or even a simple conversation in English, he didn't worry about missing words. He let the rhythm wash over him, and soon his tongue began to follow the music of the language. When it came to speaking, he was shy, but he remembered the wisdom of old teachers who said, "Do not wait for perfection before you speak, for perfection grows from speaking." So he spoke, broken sentences at first, then stronger ones. His friends laughed less, and one day they listened with respect, because his courage had turned weakness into strength. Writing became his secret weapon. Each night, before closing his eyes, he wrote a few lines in a notebook. What he did, what he felt, what he dreamed. The lines were short, but like drops of water filling a pot, they slowly filled his mind with expression. Discipline guided him. Some days he was tired, some days lazy, but he remembered that language is not learned in a single leap. It grows like a tree, watered daily with effort. And then came patience, his quiet companion. He stopped comparing himself with others, for every learner walks a different road. Instead, he focused on walking forward, even if the steps were small. Curiosity became his light. He asked questions, explored new words, searched for meaning in signs, movies, and even menus at restaurants. Learning stopped feeling like a duty. It became an adventure. One morning, he realized something had changed. The fear was gone. Words no longer ran away. They came to him like trusted friends. And in that moment, he understood the true secret of becoming a good English student. It was never about being perfect, but about being brave, patient, and joyful in the journey. Every student can improve English step by step, no matter where they start. Imagine a child standing at the bottom of a long staircase. The first steps feel heavy, and the top seems far away. But with each step, the child rises a little higher. Learning English is no different. Some begin with only a few words, maybe hello or thank you. Others may already know sentences, but struggle to join them together. Wherever the starting point is, it does not matter. What matters is the direction of movement. When a student takes even the smallest step, reading a single page, learning one new word, or speaking one short sentence, they are already climbing. Each effort builds upon the last. A single brick does not make a wall, but brick by brick, the wall becomes strong enough to stand forever. In the same way, English grows inside the learner's mind. Many people look at those who speak fluently and think they were born with talent. But often, behind that fluency is a long journey of small, repeated steps. No one wakes up one morning suddenly able to express themselves perfectly. Progress is like the slow rising of the sun. It is almost invisible in the moment, yet with time, the whole sky becomes bright. So, a student should never feel weak if they only know a little. That little is the seed of something great. With care, patience, and persistence, the seed will push through the soil, sprout leaves, and one day become a strong tree. The beginning may feel small, but every master was once a beginner who decided not to stop walking forward. Mistakes are part of learning and should not create fear. Imagine a child learning to walk for the first time. The child stumbles, falls, and sometimes even cries, yet no one tells the child to stop trying. Instead, everyone smiles, claps, and encourages another attempt. The same spirit should guide a student of English. Mistakes are not proof of weakness. They are signs of effort. When a learner speaks and uses the wrong word or forgets the grammar, it is easy to feel embarrassed. But those very mistakes are the stepping stones across the river of learning. Without stepping on them, no one can reach the other side. A mistake is not the end. It is a message that says, here is where you can grow. Think of inventors, writers, and explorers. None of them reached success on the first try. Thomas Edison failed hundreds of times before the light bulb shone. Writers often rewrite their books again and again before the world reads them. In the same way, every incorrect sentence is a draft, and each correction is a new chance to polish it. Fear, however, is the true enemy. Fear keeps the lips closed, the pen still, and the mind silent. If a student fears mistakes, they lose the chance to learn from them. But if they welcome mistakes as teachers, the fear disappears, and courage takes its place. Over time, those small errors shape themselves into fluency, just as rough stones become smooth when touched by flowing water, again and again. So mistakes should never be a wall that blocks the learner. They are simply doors waiting to be opened, each one leading closer to mastery. Daily practice with even small efforts brings big progress. Think of a drop of water falling onto a stone. One drop seems powerless, but day after day, the drops carve a path into the hard surface. The same is true with English. A student who spends just 10 minutes each day reading, listening, speaking, or writing will achieve more than someone who studies for hours once in a while and then forgets for weeks. Language is like a living plant. It does not survive if watered only once in a long time. It needs steady care. A few words repeated daily stay fresh in memory. A short conversation practiced every morning builds natural fluency. Even writing 1 or 2 lines each night sharpens the mind to think in English. These small actions may feel ordinary, but together they create extraordinary results. Many learners wait for the perfect time to study, maybe during a long holiday or after exams are finished. But that time rarely comes. Instead, progress belongs to those who choose the present moment, no matter how short it is. 5 minutes today is stronger than 1 hour promised for tomorrow. Great achievements often rise from small, repeated acts. Just as a mountain is made of countless tiny stones, fluency is built from countless small practices. Each day's effort may seem invisible, but when weeks and months pass, the student will look back and realize how far they have climbed. Daily practice does not ask for perfection. It asks only for presence. And in that steady rhythm, English slowly becomes not just a subject to study, but a natural part of life. Reading simple books and stories grows vocabulary naturally. Imagine opening a storybook written in easy English, with short sentences and familiar situations. At first, the reader may not understand every word, but the pictures in the mind, the flow of the story, and the repeated phrases make the meaning clear. Without effort, new words slip into memory, like seeds carried by the wind that quietly take root in the soil. When students read simple material, they meet words in their natural home, not as dry lists to memorize. A dictionary may give the meaning, but a story shows how the word lives, how it feels, and how it connects with other words. For example, learning the word rain from a list is one thing, but reading "The boy ran through the rain, laughing," paints a picture that never fades. That picture helps the word stay alive in the mind. Simple reading also builds confidence. When learners finish a small book, they feel a spark of success. That spark gives courage to read another, then another. With each page, their vocabulary grows like a tree, branch by branch, leaf by leaf. Soon, words that once looked strange become old friends, appearing again and again. Even great readers begin with simple stories. Just as no one starts climbing a mountain from the middle, no one begins reading English with the most difficult books. Easy stories are the gentle slopes that prepare the student for higher challenges. Over time, those small victories in reading gather strength, and the student discovers that their vocabulary has blossomed without struggle. Reading is not only study, it is a journey. And in that journey, every story becomes a teacher, quietly guiding the learner toward mastery. Listening carefully helps develop a natural flow of the language. When a baby learns to speak, it does not begin with reading or writing. It listens first, listens to voices, to sounds, to the rhythm of speech. Slowly, those sounds turn into understanding and later into words on the lips. A student of English must follow the same path. Careful listening is the key that unlocks natural expression. When learners listen to English songs, movies, speeches, or conversations, they begin to notice patterns. The way words rise and fall, the pauses between sentences, the stress on certain syllables, all of these are invisible lessons. Even if not every word is clear, the ear slowly adjusts and the mind begins to recognize meaning without translation. Listening also teaches what books cannot. A grammar rule can tell where to place a verb, but listening shows how that verb truly sounds when spoken quickly by a native speaker. It reveals the difference between formal and casual tones, between polite greetings and everyday talk. With time, the learner discovers that language is not only about rules, it is about rhythm, feeling, and music. But listening must be active, not passive. Simply hearing English in the background is not enough. The student must focus, repeat what they hear, and even mimic the voice like an echo. This practice sharpens pronunciation and makes the tongue move more naturally. Just as a musician learns by listening and repeating melodies, a language learner grows by listening and repeating sounds. In the beginning, it may feel confusing, like trying to catch raindrops in the dark, but with steady effort, clarity appears. Words that once sounded like noise begin to separate. Sentences become familiar, and soon the learner finds themselves speaking with the same flow they once only listened to. When a student speaks without hesitation, something powerful happens. Fear begins to shrink, and courage begins to grow. Even if the words are not complete, the listener usually understands the meaning, and that understanding creates trust. Over time, the student realizes that communication matters more than flawless grammar. Fluency is not about speaking perfectly, it is about speaking freely. The more the learner practices, the more natural the words become. What once took effort starts to flow like water, and mistakes become fewer without the student even noticing. Then is not the final stage of learning, it is the path itself. And the sooner one begins, the sooner confidence takes root and grows strong. Writing thoughts in English sharpens both memory and expression. When a learner takes a pen or opens a notebook and begins to write, they turn their invisible thoughts into visible words. This simple act forces the mind to choose vocabulary, arrange sentences, and give shape to ideas. In doing so, memory becomes stronger and expression becomes clearer. Writing does not need to be long or complex. Even a few lines each day are powerful. A student can write about what they ate for breakfast, what happened at school, or how they felt during the day. These small notes may seem ordinary, but they are like daily exercises that keep the mind active and flexible. Over time, the learner notices that sentences grow longer, vocabulary grows wider, and ideas flow more easily. Another secret of writing is that it allows reflection. When speaking, words vanish as soon as they are said, but when writing, words stay on the page, waiting to be corrected or improved. The student can see their mistakes, erase them, and try again. This process trains the brain to think carefully and to notice patterns, which later helps in both speaking and reading. Just as an athlete sharpens muscles through daily training, a learner sharpens language skills through daily writing. Each sentence, no matter how small, is like a stroke of the brush on a canvas. And as the strokes gather, they reveal a picture of progress, showing the student how far they have come on their journey. Discipline and patience are more powerful than talent alone. Many people admire those who seem naturally gifted in languages. They hear someone speak fluently and think, that person must be talented, and I am not. But the truth is that talent without discipline is like a lamp without oil. It shines only for a short while. Discipline is the steady hand that keeps the lamp burning through the night. A student who sets a clear routine, even if small, often achieves more than a gifted learner who studies only when they feel inspired. 10 minutes of focused practice every day is stronger than 2 hours once in a month. Discipline means showing up again and again, even when the mood is low, even when progress feels slow. It is the quiet force that builds skill in silence. Patience walks beside discipline. English cannot be mastered in a week or a month. It grows slowly, like a tree. A seed does not complain that it is not yet tall. It simply waits for rain and sunlight while its roots grow deeper. In the same way, a learner must trust the process. The results may not be visible at once, but they are always forming beneath the surface. Together, discipline and patience create strength greater than talent. Talent may give a fast start, but without steady effort, it soon fades. Discipline keeps the learner moving forward, and patience keeps the heart calm during the long journey. Step by step, these two companions lead the student to success that lasts. So, when the road feels long, the learner must remember, talent is a gift, but discipline and patience are choices. And those choices, made daily, turn even an ordinary student into someone extraordinary. A curious and positive attitude makes English learning enjoyable. Curiosity is like a spark that keeps the fire of learning alive. When a student wonders, why is this word used here? Or, what does that phrase really mean? They open the door to discovery. Each question becomes a key, unlocking new knowledge that might have been hidden if curiosity had stayed silent. Positivity, too, is a strong companion. Some learners focus only on what they cannot do. They see their mistakes, their weak grammar, their slow progress. This negative thinking makes the journey heavy, like walking with stones in the pocket. But when a student chooses to notice even small victories, the one new word remembered, the sentence spoken without fear, the page of a book completed, the journey feels lighter and brighter. When learners carry curiosity and positivity, every challenge feels less like a wall and more like a puzzle to solve. Each solved puzzle brings joy, and that joy feeds the desire to keep going. Over time, English becomes not only a skill, but a friend, something to look forward to each day. The journey of learning is long, but with curiosity to guide the eyes and positivity to guide the heart, it becomes a path of discovery where every step feels worth taking.